Hello everyone. How's it going? Welcome to another Friday drama show.
Are we having fun yet? Hey, it's Friday. It's Pi Day Friday. It's drama. It's whatever the heck we're calling this thing. Hi, everybody. Welcome to drama. Welcome to Pi Day Friday. I don't know what I'm up to today. I'm just a little bit discombobulated because I got thrown a curve before we started the show. I have everything set up and ready to broadcast at 1:15 or so, and my time. And then Scott usually pops in between 1:15 and 1:30, joins me on Zoom, and we test audio and do all that good stuff. And he didn't do that. And I don't know, 10 minutes ago or so, I sent him a message, said, hey, are you playing drama today? And so far he said, so he is on vacation. No reason for him to be here. I was just kind of under the faulty impression that he would be here. So it kind of throws off my timing, my scheduling, and all the things that I do. So I did an internal test for audio, but I didn't have any human to test it with. So please, it looks like people are saying hi and responding to my computerized greeting. But if you can't hear me, let me know. If you can hear me, I suppose, let me know too. And we'll just make sure we get all of our ducks in a row. Yeah, they're looking for messages just to see if I'm here. Hello, hello, hello. And give that mic paranoid thing. Hello, am I on? Can you hear me? Hello? Maybe I should look up there. All right, well, I'm going to assume until I hear otherwise, nobody's saying, I can't hear you, Dave. I see your lips moving. But so we'll take it on faith that there is audio signal to be done today. Let me see what's cooking here. What screens do I need up and what don't I need? I can get rid of this one. That's in the way. Ooh, my, we don't want to do that. Okay. You did it anyways. It went full screen on me. You can't imagine what my system is doing. I can't imagine what my system is doing. There. Okay. I can see things kind of sort of now. And then we do this and okay, good. We got a good initial turnout. There. All right. Sorry about that. That's a little inside baseball stuff. Apologies. So let's start the intros and get all that nonsense out of the way. We got a couple of things to do today. They're going to be a little bit time consuming. I got two projects. That's long and short of it. And they're not particularly time consuming, but I want to make sure that we get done in time to have a good contest today. Yay, good contest. It's not going to be an exciting or interesting contest. However, next week's contest for a free CompTIA voucher good anywhere in the world that CompTIA does testing is going to be very interesting. And I'll tell you all about it today. I'll give you the total heads up on it and everything you need to know. It'll be awesome. So until then, welcome. I am David Rush, or Dave. I'm the senior instructor at Total Seminars, and this is an Ask Me Anything. Since I'm Dave Rush, it's the Dave Rush Ask Me Anything or drama. We do this every Friday, 2 o'clock Central Time, whatever time zone we're on right now. We're on Standard Time today, so okay, it's a little later for some of you than we've been for the last 6 months. Sorry about that. I sadly have no control over the U.S. federal government and Texas state government as to whether or not they decide to change clocks arbitrarily. But there it is. But we get together about 2 hours every Friday. At this time, we talk for an hour or so. We do a project for an hour or so, and somewhere in there, we squeeze in a contest and whatever other goodies that we can do. So I am not joined, as always, by my partner in Pi. I haven't even heard from Andrew. I don't know if I have a moderator here. I might have to wield my own ban hammer if wackiness happens. And I don't get ahead enough, so we'll see how that all works out. Nobody's on my back channel. I'm alone, except I'm with you guys, so I feel good about myself. So what are we doing here? Well, we're doing the same thing we do all the time. We are here to advance technical learning while isolated during the COVID crisis. And so to that end, we are open to any technical topic. Our bailiwick is CompTIA certifications, A+, Net+, Security+, ITF+, and others, if I've got some background in that. But our core mission here is to use Raspberry Pis in a way to help facilitate studying and experimenting and things like that. So today's project, a little bit tied to A+y stuff. Today is a two-part project, and we have two projects today. So I got project one, and then we have part one of project two, and next week we'll do part two of project two, and all of them are as tied as closely to A+ or more closely to A+, excuse me, than any of the other certifications. This is the 67th drama that we've done. That's so cool. I love doing this stuff. Saving the file. I made an edit in my live presentation file. Sorry, let me see if I can relocate this thing up a little bit. So it looks like I'm looking a little bit more towards El Camera. This is a presentation of Total Seminars under the presidential direction of Mr. Mike Myers himself, senior author, popular author, and has written all of the best and greatest and most popular A+ books, Net Plus books, Security Plus books. And then, of course, he's 20 years ago, he switched to not switched, but he added videos to the lexicon. And now we lead the planet on sort of, one more time, CompTIA videos. Hey, there was a good sale on at Udemy yesterday, and I have a good number of courses that I'm way behind on. I picked up a lot of free ones and picked up some cheap ones over the last year or so. But yesterday I did buy a new course unrelated to anything. I am a terrible hobbyist guitar player. I know my 11 chords that everybody knows and can pick just a little bit, but I don't know fretboard. I don't know music theory. I took a music theory back in college, but that was a blow off. It turned out, of course, nothing in college is a blow off. You had to earn it. But I pluck on my guitar a little bit every week, and all I do is kind of repeat the same old stuff that I've always done. So I know that I need to learn fretboard, and that's so I picked up a fretboard course and very excited about that. Let's see here. We do AMAs 3 times a week. Mike does an hour on Monday, does an hour again on Wednesday. I do 2 hours on Friday, so it's all balances out. And encourage you to check out Mike's. Of course, for each of these, we are at least at the present time. I have no timetable that anybody's given me to tell me when this is going to stop. We are giving away a voucher at each of the AMAs. Mike does a contest using practice test questions and things like that. I do mine a little more broad to make sure everybody's got a chance to win. Outside, well, you know what? You got a 1 in 4 chance of winning one of Mike's, because there are usually 4 answers to pick from. So if you don't know, you got a good chance of guessing, 25%. Mine are all guesswork for everybody. Oh, let's see here. Okay, 2 things. We'll do this, and then we'll take a look and see who's checked in. So this is an AMA. I want you to ask me questions, anything that you got in mind. No religion, no politics, but other than that, just about anything is fair game. I may or may not be able to answer, and I'll let you know that if it's the case. But if the best way to communicate with me today live is to post your questions and your comments in the YouTube chat session, which you probably want to pop out. And if not, no matter what, you do want to change it from whatever the default chat is to live chat. I've changed screens. I'm not looking at it. But if you can't communicate with me there, then send me an email. You can catch me at daver@totalsem.com or my personal email, drushtx@yahoo.com. They forward to each other, so don't use both. You can catch me on Steam, bloodrushtx. And if you're interested in talking to Scott or even Mike, Scott J @totalsem.com. Michael M. He's Michael Myers at Michael Myers. Yeah, plural. Yeah, Michael Myers. Okay. And that's how to get in touch with us. Please also, as you're looking at the stream today, click that thumbs up. It doesn't help me. We don't make any money off of it, but it does help other people find these courses, these presentations. And so when somebody wants to know how to use eSpeak and make a talking clock on a Raspberry Pi, They're going to find us here today. And one other quickie presentation. You know, I got to remember to leave this stuff up. I'm really awful about that because I can just flop around screens. We got specials that are only available to you, those of you who watch our AMAs. And we don't advertise this stuff anywhere. So this week's special, 50% off bundles that are comprised of an ebook and Total Tester for the same subject matter. So we have them for A+, Net+, Security+, Cybersecurity Analyst Plus, Pentest Plus, and AWS Systems Architecture Associate. All you do is go to totalsem.com, go hit the shopping area, load up your basket with loot, and when you're ready to check out, use the code 110821. That would be the date on Monday in US format, November 1108. Monday was the 8th. And the year is 21 or so. These deals are good through this Sunday, November 14th, and then they will evaporate and we'll put together some kind of new different program, hopefully next week. And that, for now, is that. Let's see who has joined us in our merry world. Come here, you. So afraid I'm going to click something and make a screen disappear. All right, going all the way back to the beginning. Ping turned up at 2 hours before the show started with a surprise kitten popping out of the box. Hey, Ping, good to see you. And Tullowit is here, not surprisingly, an hour prior. And they both got started. Solomon Enawa. Sorry, Enanau. I'm sorry I'm butchering your name. That one's a new one for me, and you are a new name for me. So welcome, first of all, to Drama. And if we can answer anything for you, by all means, and otherwise got a good show for you today just to enjoy. Catherine's here, just about showtime. Hi, everyone. And likewise, Alan Duggan, both of our old friends. What did I post here? Silliness, I'm sure. Oh, yeah. When I realized Scott wasn't going to be here, and he always posts a welcome 3 minutes before showtime. Oh, no, I've got to post my own welcome. Oh, let's see. Happy Friday. Another shiny new name. Hey, there we go. On the back channel, Andrew has joined. Thank you, Andrew. Great. What is going on here? Oh, okay. I thought I set my alarm. I'm an old pilot. I've been piloting for many years, and I live on checklists in an aircraft. So I've built checklists on how to do the show. I have my timer go off to say, when to run this next checklist. And I thought I heard the timer go off and I just panicked. I might have missed something. Anyways, Elbwin. I know I'm mispronouncing that one, but I am confident that could be a name, not just a moniker. So cool. Welcome, L. Oh, you were on Wednesday. I didn't see your name, but I heard Mike and Scott trying to pronounce it. Okay, that's why. And so Mike said, I'm just going to call you L, and I now see why, and I'm just going to call you L or, Elbow N. I don't know, L. Michael Carrillo. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. JM's here. Hey, I saw some Raspberry Pi for sale that include a touchscreen on top of it. Are they good? I don't have an external monitor. There is no Raspberry Pi for sale from Raspberry Pi organization that comes with a built-in touchscreen. That's somebody who's put it together and is selling it as a unit. So I don't know who's doing it, what you've done. I have built a number of Raspberry Pis with 2.4-inch screens mounted on them. They are fine. The one challenge, of course, is you're not going to get full screen resolution. And usually what has to happen is you see some quadrant of the screen and you have to drag it around to see others. And if you can build an app that fits nicely into that, whatever that resolution is, 240 by 300 or whatever, cool bananas. But just trying to use it as a desktop, nah. Oh, Patricia Grace is here. Hi, I'm discombobulated too. My schedule is too irregular now. Yeah, you've changed up positions again, but it sounds like you have one that you were led to. So congratulations on that. Great. Thank you, Tullowit, for hearing me loud and clear now that I'm 14 minutes into the show. My fault, not yours. Thank you, Catherine. AV Nut. See, we've made it a hard A now. I was sure it was Avanut, so I apologize. So we got you, Avinut. Hello and welcome. Nice to see you again. Jam, do you recommend buying a Raspberry Pi from the original manufacturer, the red and white, or can I buy an aftermarket one? There are no aftermarket ones. They are all from the original manufacturer. They do it in different colors because they do it in different factories. My recommendation is buying a Raspberry Pi from one of their authorized resellers. Here in the United States, there's a couple. Their big distributor is element.com. That's where I got my most recent, ever so exciting acquisition. Come here, you. My 8 gig Raspberry Pi. But no, there's no knockoffs. The Raspberry Pi organization has not licensed anybody else to make them under their own name or anything like that. They're just, they do contract with other manufacturers and they do different colored circuit boards. But QC is good. It all has to get QC'd by, I presume that it all gets QC'd by Raspberry Pi folks. I'm confident of that. They're a sharp organization. Crazy Homebody Girl. Hey, happy Friday to you too. People saying hi to each other. Majdi Daifa, hello. Assalamu alaikum, if that's your bent. Nick Abernathy, happy Friday. Man, we're getting a nice turnout today. Oh, good. And I have such fun stuff. I'll try and zip through this after these hellos. Jam, what are some projects you recommend in Raspberry Pi for Security Plus? We have done some very cool things with VPNs, with Wireshark. What you do, tell you what, is you look at the top of the screen after the show is done and look at the videos or playlists. And then when you go into playlist, you'll see the playlist of all the Raspberry Pi shows that I've done and their titles. And then you can also find out a little greater information on the titles if you will go visit here. Now here's where, to tell you what, Andrew, you're working back channel. If you would put the link up for the Pi R Square server, that would be awesome. I will put a slide up for it and explain how this gets useful. There we go, this one. Share screen. So if you will go here, JM, pirsquare.zapto.org, just pause your screen now to write it down if you don't remember, because I'm killing it off of there. I have there a downloadable link, a download link that takes you to a link of download page. And on that page are the documents that I use to do every show that we've done with a project. And that's all but 3 of them. There was a couple of shows we had to do just open topic for whatever reason may be. And you'll get an idea from the titles of all of those things, which ones are kind of Security Plus oriented. Oh gosh, we did a Kali Linux. I just posted an information on that one this morning to somebody. Installing Kali Linux on a Raspberry Pi. That is just a hoot and a holler. So plenty of them. I'm not going to bring up the page and read through all of them and list them all to you because of time constraints. But please check those out, and you can email me with that question, and I will give you a longer answer if you can't find it on your own research. Thanks, Guy. Shrink you. Back to questions. Reading questions. Abu Bakr is here. Assalamu alaikum. Jam, what are some projects you recommend? Okay, we just did that one. What's the site you put the Raspberry Pi notes on called? There we go. So just posted it, and I don't know if Andrew had a chance to post it, because well, I can come back here. Let's do this. Let's zoom down to the bottom and see if, yeah, Andrew has posted that. Thank you. Andrew posted that at 2:17. Oh, good. I'm almost caught up. Cool. David Gomez is here. Haven't seen you in a while, my friend. Welcome back. Michael Reeves is here also. So return to the old crowd, because everybody heard we're giving away vouchers. Yes, there was a promo code for the website today for products for the bundles, and that code was Monday's date in American format, 11/08/21. If Gomez, can I install Windows XP on a virtual machine using CD Windows Media on a Raspberry Pi 4 with 8 gig? No. Okay, so let's think about that. On a virtual machine using a CD Windows Media on Raspberry Pi 4. Yes. Yes. I would not do it. I'm thinking about this. Okay, so here's the deal. When you install an operating system into a virtual machine, it doesn't come off of a native CD. That CD has to be burned into an ISO, VMware, and Oracle Box. Thank you, VirtualBox. They want ISOs that they can mount on the virtual CD in there. But you can do that yourself. You can use, there's a million different ISO burners or IMG burners. So you're going to want to turn that into an ISO or IMG file. Something really weird just happened. Okay, I seem to be there. Man, it was like somebody took over my screen and started popping windows there. Anyway, so you're going to have to turn that into an ISO, and then you will mount it into the virtual CD player that you're using. It's got to be VMware in the case of, it's probably VMware in the case of an 8 gig Pi. And then you will have to, holy Hannah, you're going to have to do a Box 86 emulator. I'm going on this as theoretically possible. This is going to be complicated. You start with Box 86 emulator, because this is an ARM system, right? And the operating systems you're talking about aren't ARM. They have to run under x86. So you start with Box 86, then you install a virtual machine hypervisor that will run under x86. That pretty well limits you to VirtualBox. Then you're going to have to take the ISO that you make out of your XP media, mount that in the VirtualBox, and then install it. It's an interesting experiment. I think it can be done because you got enough memory. I also think it's going to be a fairly slow process because you're not talking about a lot of CPU horsepower to run both a hypervisor and the operating system and the host operating system. It's going to be something. All right, I hope that helps. I'm sorry, I would like to do that with you. It'd be kind of a cool project. Maybe time permitting, I might attack something like that. Okay, did that, caught up. That was 210. Yes, old pirate. Yeah, but just the traditional kind of pirate. I quit. Jeremy Parker is here. Even though I'm going to get a therapy light for winter blues, but a Raspberry Pi would be more effective. I'm in heaven when I'm geeking out. I'm with you, man. So with you. Yeah, CanaKit's a good source for kits full of Pis and power supplies and cables and micro SD cards. And maybe CanaKit has one that includes one of the Wave Share LCD screens. And that's something else you want to think about when you're getting an LCD screen with or for Raspberry Pi. Is it going to be resistive? If it's resistive, it's the kind that needs a stylus. Or if it's going to be capacitive, then you can use your finger on it. All right. So Andrew posted the PyR Square server. Thank you very much at 217. Scroll. There we go. Overwatch. Hi, Dave. Do you know how to undo audit mode on Windows 10 Pro to 00BE, please? I don't know that reference. My PC is stuck on incomplete installation error and reboot loop, but I'm able to access command. The answer is no. I'm going to take that as a research project, put that in my handy dandy little notes here, and I will pass that along if I get it researched in time for Mike and or Scott to talk about on Monday. Let's go put this in show notes down here. And or Wednesday. And if they don't get to it, or I don't get the research done by then, I will have it by next week. I know that's a week of you're stuck in this intermittent boot. I would put the error message that you're getting in quotes and put that in your favorite search engine. That's where I'm going to start this research, and we'll go from there. But no, I'm sorry, I have not encountered that one. So you got me. I'm very sorry. I can't be more help. Jim, thank you. I'll open a Discord account and watch some of the projects. No, you don't need Discord for that. Just my Pi Square. That's an open server. It's open every Friday, and on request, if you send me an email, hey Dave, it's Thursday afternoon, I need your download documents. Can you open up your server from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.? Yeah, no problem. I just don't like to leave it running 24 hours a day because I don't have it secure enough to let me be comfortable that my network might be exposed through that. All right, see people talking to each other. Yeah, Kali Linux on Pi is a blast. Jeremy Parker, Trisha Greats, 2 jobs, home responsibilities, 3 things. Oh, and you got, I mean, look, you're a busy person in your whole life, so you got a lot more than 3 going on. Steady as Shark is here. Welcome from the UK, amigo. Yeah, an ISO, Jeremy, or an IMG. It's all kinds of things supported as bootable images, as loadable images in virtual machines. Savage Cabbage, I love your name. I have invented another name that you triggered when I saw that, and I can't say it sadly here, but I would say it on Discord if you join me there. Yep, iced tea, sweet tea, not an Arnold Palmer, though it does have lemon juice in it. It's my usual drink of choice when I need to wet my whistle and I'm doing these shows. Jason Helms, hey, long time no see on a show. Fantastic. Jason Helms, we're doing a contest today. It's going to be a number guess. Participate. And that is going to, one last question here, and then I can get started on the gobbledygook and head toward projects here. Father Time says at 2:25, do you know if there's a place to go online to find simple Raspberry Pi projects that actually explain how-to directions that I can use with my students? Yes, I know several. First of all, my stuff. Oftentimes I will borrow a simple project from somebody else, maybe use it as they've posted it. Often, most of the time I make minor modifications. I always explain how to. So do check out my archive server. The link at 217 that Andrew posted will get you there, and you can find all my archive documents, and you can use my notes and my outlines and use those as lessons. There's simple projects in there. There's complicated projects in there. Likewise, you can watch the video archives of all of the shows that we've done just by going after the show here, and your screen is shrunk down to normal size. There'll be a menu on top of our shows. One's for videos, and I think one either videos leads to whatchamacallit, to playlist, or maybe there's a direct playlist and you can get that one. So that's one way. Another one is, check mine out and find out, just look at my documents at where I borrowed tutorials from, if you like, because oftentimes, let's say I got a tutorial from a site called Howcho, H-O-W, I think it's -CHOO, might be one word. They have a lot of simple projects. And of course, your favorite search engine, simple Raspberry Pi projects for students, something like that. There's a lot of good books out there that do that. Excuse me. And if you'll write me, what's my name there? Dave R at totalsem.com with this question. I'll do a little bit of that research for you and give you some of the list of places. I don't look for projects anymore based on simple projects. My approach has to be a little bit different. My goal is to use Raspberry Pis in prepping for CompTIA stuff. So I either run into a cool concept and I say, oh, that's CompTIA related, and I'll go check out that project, or I do it the other way around. I'll look through CompTIA objectives and say, you know what? People need to know basic Linux commands for A+1002, whatever it is. And so I'll start building a course around that, or maybe looking for a tutorial to get things started. So it's a little different approach. I'm sure you understand. I don't need to lean back like that. All right. People talking to each other in the news. J&J going to break into two companies. Well, yeah, it's easy joke, Tullowit. I made that one at 6 o'clock this morning. Okay, I'm caught up on questions. 229. Let me mark that and stop that from scrolling and go back and check out my notes, see what we can talk about here. Did that. So you don't always need a Raspberry Pi to do projects that we do today. Today you do, because now the thing we're going to do today, just part one, you could do on any Linux box. But next week, we're going to add hardware to the GPIO pins, and that pretty much locks you down into Raspberry Pi. And we'll get into that a little bit as we go on. Where we've been, where we're going. Last week, we completed part 2 of installing and setting up RetroPie. It was last week, it was all about how to install game ROMs into RetroPie. And there are at least a half a dozen methods. I gave you a couple of the easy ones. SCP was not easy. By the way, my SCP demonstration choked when I was doing it with you. And it's because I didn't rehearse that one first. I did it off the cuff and hey, let's just do this. And it gagged. And seconds after the show was done, I looked at it to figure out what happened. And it's really simple. The download that I did had some characters in the file name and in the folder name that made it invisible to Windows utilities. I was able to get to it from the command line. I changed the name in the command line and everything worked like a dream. So we did all the steps that are correct, just something got sneaky. But the easiest way to do it is to use the RetroPie Manager web interface. Download your ROMs, unzip them, and then use this manager program to find them and upload them. It was all well demonstrated in there. Yeah, should I mention this? Yeah. So after the show last week, I said, I had a handful of games that I could demonstrate. I got to have more. So I went out and did a little bit of hunting and downloaded 200 gigs. Yeah, give or take a gig of games. I only installed 112 gigs so far. I got room on the card for more, but that's enough for now. And so I've been just, every time I need a brain break, I'd pop on a new game, and what a blast. This morning, I cloned that disk because I'm going to go visit my kid this weekend at Texas Tech, and he's got a Raspberry Pi 4. So I got him a couple of controllers, and he's got a clone of my RetroPie micro SD card now. So when he needs a study break, he's got some other kind of game emulators, and maybe this is superfluous and won't need it, but there it is. All right. So I'm taking my cue. I mentioned this last week. RetroPies are going to be my holiday gifts this year. I will be giving away RetroPies as it's just going to be a hoot. Can't wait. Today's projects, we got 2 of them. One of them, quick and painless. I can't demonstrate this because it'll take between 1 and 2 hours, and it's basically just waiting. But it's about 6 or 7 commands that you type in. Debian, from which Raspberry Pi OS is forked, is derived, has updated. And it took, they named their distros, their versions, after characters from Toy Story. And we have been using the Buster version for some months now. However, a new version, Bullseye, came out. Bullseye, I have never watched the Toy Story thing. So I say these things because I read them and I take them on faith. Bullseye apparently is the name of the horse owned by Woody. So that's the name of the new version. And our Pi, Raspberry Pi, released their update to Bullseye this week. So I took one of my Pis that I was willing to put at risk and went through the process to upgrade it. That worked fine. And then I did 6 more. And again, it's very time consuming, but it's basically type in the command, wait it out for a couple seconds. You might have to stick around with one because it's going to ask you yes or no questions. But eventually it's just going to start a big process of copying and expanding and installing files and things like that. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's real quick. It's real painless. And if you want to get my step-by-step stuff so you can follow easily, download today's archive documents. It'll be in the main PDF file. You'll see it by title. You know what it is. Project number 2, part 1, is part of creating a motion-activated talking clock. And so today we're going to remind ourselves about a speech synthesizer that we've used back in July called eSpeak. And then we're going to talk about some bash commands and some variables that are deal with time, and put those all together and create the script that's going to get run whenever our motion sensor detects motion, and then it's going to announce the time and date and things like that. So today is all programming, and it's really simple. I could just say, here's the script, copy and paste this and do it. But, you know, I do presentations where we want to learn what this stuff is. Next week, we'll get into the electronics of it. We're going to have a motion sensor thing, and we're going to wire it to our Raspberry Pi. We're going to you're going to hook up speakers today, but if you want to hear what you're doing, you get the idea. It's easy stuff. All right, so a little bit of electronics class next week. You still want to stick around because I'm giving away a voucher next week, and you never know what time that's going to happen. I might do that between the projects today just to keep you around. All right, we'll see. So you do need to buy a little bit of hardware in addition to a Raspberry Pi to pull this off. In the US, you should be able to get all the hardware that you need for between 10 and 15 US dollars, not including some kind of case that you're going to have to make or purchase. You'll see what I mean. All right. Interesting news, tricks, and techniques of the week. First of all, I will not be on Discord today. Andrew, would you post the Discord link up? Because other people will. The second I get done with the show here, I'm going to clean up for 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm going to do last minute packing into the car and things like that when the missus gets home. And then we've got to start the 9-hour drive up to Texas Tech. We're going to get there about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I am not in any kind of shape to drive, so I can't hang around and do Discord. Apologies for that. I'll put the Discord link up here as well. Fire Square Weekly, friend of show, unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel. That's the thing. And we share. Okay, so this is the invite link. If you've already got a Discord account, just go to this site and you are invited and welcomed into the unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel. It was set up and operated by Jose Braden and a number of folks that he's appointed. A lot of them are here to moderate over there. They'll get together today on cameras and microphones and talk with each other about the show and what an idiot Dave is and what a cool project he did. There's zillions of text forums on there. You can text while other people are on camera. Then we got tech support forums. We got Linux forums. We got Raspberry Pi forums. We got study group forums, and on and on and on. I say we because I am a member. I am not a moderator. Myself nor Total Seminars has anything official to do with this. Caveat, caveat, CYA, disclaimer, disclaimer. You know what? I didn't put that up for all that. What the heck is going on? There, I didn't hit the share button. Okay, share's up. Pause your screen here if you don't see it on the chat feed, and you can write it down. It's pretty simple. It is case sensitive. Pardon me. Nessus 10, Nessus 10, became available this week for Raspberry Pi. Now, what Nessus 10 is a program that runs on a computer that you place in a location, in a facility where you're doing penetration testing. And it will do monitoring, whatever you specify it to monitor, and send the results back to your home base where you're collecting and researching and things like that. So yeah, there are times when you have to be on site to do penetration testing and monitoring, but sometimes you got to just have some long-term stuff sitting there all the time, and you can't, hang out there for a week or two or a month or whatever, looking at this stuff daily, just being there so you can have the kind of stuff that you're researching sent to you. And of course, doing this on a Raspberry Pi, wow, right? I mean, some tiny little computer. It's got Nessus running on there. You know, you don't just walk in and plug it in. This is obviously something that you work out with the facility at with whom and for whom you're doing pen testing. But holy Hannah. So I have reached out to the nice folks over there to see if I can get a copy that works longer than 7 days. Their trial for 7 days is just not enough for me to learn the product, prepare a presentation, and do the presentation before it expires. So I'm in initial communications, reach out, hey, work with me. I would like to do your thing. So we'll keep that ongoing. Red Hat Enterprise Linux had a new release this week. It's 8.5. They've gone up from 8.4. We did Rocky Linux installs here a couple months ago. It's based on, it's a clone of Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So it was 8.4. I immediately went over to the Rocky site to see if they had Rocky 8.5 out. Not yet, and they're not saying when, but again, this is a patch for patch, byte for byte clone, so it should be out very quickly. You can read my notes in the downloads about what 8.5 brings to the table. There's some cool new stuff. Giving away a voucher today after the project, give or take. Resource archive is up and running at PIRSquare, PIRSQUARE.zapto.org. I have no old unanswered questions. Andrew, I only did 2 plugs to be posted today because we haven't seen Elbow in several months. So I'm going to pull his plug for a while until we hear from him. We have a couple folks who participate here who run fantastic blogs and YouTube presentations of their own, and we love them. We encourage you to check them out. Andrew's going to post 2 of them today. One of them is his, where he presents various security topics. Good stuff. He's a good writer. He's a good presenter, and it picks interesting topics. Tullowit runs a YouTube site. You can get that link that Andrew is putting up, excuse me, where he films slices of life in Hawaii where he lives. And that's something we would all like to say, right? Okay, good. That gets me caught up on all of my stuff until we commence el proyecto. So let me catch up on any last questions and then we'll get fired up. A little bit early today, and that's good because I want to get this stuff done. I want to get you through both projects, and I want to get to a voucher contest. And I had the place marked up and I got to go find it. Just reading questions. The Johnson joke. I know there are solutions online to enter SysPrep. Okay, yeah, sorry. The OOBE. What is OOBE? Oh, out of the box experience. OOBE is the out of box experience. What OOBE is, for anyone who doesn't know, I use this all the time for things that we provide. We have these kits that we provide to school systems. They go along with our books and our lab manuals. So it's got a motherboard in it, and it's got hard drives in it, and M2 drives and RAM and whatever, and they can build and configure machines. Well, what I do is I start out by creating an image operating system, and I install various pieces of software on there and add this and subtract this. And when I'm all done, I don't want it to look like I've been there. I want it to look like, hey, this is the way it came out of the box, but it'll still have my cool additional stuff. And so there is this utility, this program that we can launch within Windows called the OOBE, the out of box experience. And that clears up any empty temp folders and stuff in download folders and things like that. And it makes it, kind of a new appearance. It's not something anybody has to do. It's kind of a marketing tool more than anything. It doesn't hurt you to run it though. However, it does in the case of Overwatch. Command responds with sysprep not recognized. Yeah, I don't know why. I'd need to be much closer to what you've got going on. Okay, I see people passing, talking to each other. I'm passing 231 mark. I'm making one for my sister, says Andrew. Very nice. Yes, you are. Remember we talking about that. Can you make a RetroPie? Asked Jason Helm at 234. into a stand-up arcade system, absolutely. There are lots of places out there that sell an arcade frame, and they come with joysticks and buttons and a little connector that you can use to hook into the GPIOs or into USBs or whatever. Yeah, and they make little tabletop versions if you don't want to go, full scale. So you just, instead of using your keyboard or a game controller, you use this thing. It's got the buttons on it, and you still hook up to a traditional monitor, all the way up to full scale, 7-foot tall wood arcade things that you can decorate yourself, or they come pre-decorated. Some pretty cool stuff. Okay, Andrew posted the Discord invite link at 2:37. Thank you, my friend. And another howdy from Savage Cabbage at 2:37. 2:38, Jason Elliott. All right, no politics, Jason. That was the last one of those that you get, or I play with the band hammer. Thank you, buddy. Trisha Grace greets Jason Elliott. Andrew, okay, so at 2:41, Andrew's posted a couple links to people whose sites we like to plug. Thank you, sir. Helowitz still working on a new video. I take that to mean he's got to shoot one. But he has played with some pretty cool editors. Andrew, I keep saying I'm going to upload my fishing article, and then I keep getting new Python assignments. Where's your priorities, man? Blow your homework off. Do the things that are real world that we care about. Tullowit, I wanted to, I'm going to read a Tullowit thing out loud without pre-reading it. How badly will I regret this? I wonder if Andrew is out to try to get some survival gear and food. I heard Netherlands. Oh, Andre. I heard Netherlands is going back into lockdown. Oh, I hadn't heard that. Man, gosh, I will be so glad when this is all done. Trisha Grace, well, he did have an outage, Andrew Hutz, so we'll give you some grace. Nah, his only outage was his team. JM, will there be any Raspberry Pi Black Friday sales? They never telegraph that stuff. I expect Micro Center to have one. They usually do. There wasn't one last year. But, you don't buy directly from Raspberry Pi. You buy from their authorized resellers and distributors. So it'll be up to them. Reading questions. He didn't say anything to those seminars. He was just giving encouragement. Yeah. Hey, Scott's here at 2:46. Welcome to the party, Scott. Thanks for coming in. And yes, Andrew was late. That's okay. I got this. Tullowit, I have the footage for my new video. Okay, just got to edit it. Very good. Yeah, you know what, Andrew? I dumped this week all of my Eagles fantasy player. I've had enough. Sorry, just can't take the pain anymore. All right, well, I'm going to get fired up on projects then. That's good. We get started about 12 minutes early today. One of them is going to be mostly descriptive. I'm going to show you the commands that you need to type in order. You can get these from my download outline file if you want to follow this along yourself. But let me show you what you have to do if you want to upgrade from an existing version. That you need. This works if you're going to try to upgrade from the current version Buster to Bullseye. If you've got some system, it's okay. If you've got some system that has an operating system prior to Bullseye, you're going to have to upgrade it to Bullseye, and then, I'm sorry, to Buster, and then upgrade to Bullseye, or it'll gag. And I learned that lesson once a long time ago when I got one or two revs behind and said, well, I'm just going to bring it up to the new one. And I wound up in kind of the same situation that Overwatch did. The thing worked, but I can't manage it. I've actually got it running around the house here somewhere, because it's got a couple of working servers on it that I'm happy with. But if it ever does anything, if I ever wanted to make a change to it, I have to smoke it. Now, if you're going to do a fresh, shiny new install of the latest, greatest version of Raspberry Pi OS, you don't have to know or care about any of this nonsense. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that was in frame. I'm not sure that I can keep it out of frame. Oh, I can do this. That was Dave's armpit. Then you don't have to do anything, right? Bullseye is the one that's on the latest downloadable image files that we burn. So you don't have to worry about that. The whole point of today's exercise is I've got a Raspberry Pi running, and you need to keep them current, because eventually software that's on old versions, when you update them, won't work on new versions. And you're going to hear stories online about, don't do this, it doesn't work. It's worked fine on 7 of mine. I was on a site this morning where that argument came up, and there was a couple people for whom it didn't work, and they had to wreck their systems and start them from scratch. I don't know what the reason is, but it's not because there's a problem with Bullseye, because so many of us have had no trouble doing the updates and upgrades. Let's see. You can read my notes about the new features that are in Bullseye. I don't care about reading them to you. I'm just going to do a quick demo of the command. Now, I think, nice guy that I am, that I included the text file that has all these steps in it. I didn't, but I will take a minute before I leave for Texas Tech to update the zip file and include the text file that has all of these steps in it. I apologize for that. I don't usually include text files in there, but I did today, and I missed one. So sorry about that. But again, you can just follow along from here, or all these steps are built into my main outline, which is in the downloadable piece. Now, I did mine abbreviated. I've lived on the edge. I didn't back up my Pi. There is a tutorial that I stole much of this from. I'm going to post the link for that myself. I didn't post it for the guys to copy paste. So this is, we'll call this the upgrade to Bullseye, Bulls EYE tutorial. And this has many of the steps that I'm going to show you, but I changed 1 or 2 of them because they needed to be changing. But I did not include in my tutorial anything about how to back up your system first or whatever. Everything that I have, I am totally willing to lose and rebuild from scratch. I can do any system here in an hour and rebuild it. So, or not worry about losing anything. But if you need that information, that's available to you. Okay, I'm going to fire up Putty here. Everything we're doing today is done from the command line. You could use SSH in Windows. You could use SSH in Mac OSs. But I like Putty. So let me connect to that, and then I'll share with you 192, 168. You know, we can pick any version here. It doesn't matter. So I'll use the version that I'm going to do our lab on today. 192, 168, 1.140. That is Pi Raspberry. Okay, now we share, because sharing is caring, right? And I'm starting to sound Mike. I repeat my same old jokes and lines. Share screen. There it is in all of its glory. All right, we're sharing. So the first thing you need to do, I'm just going to put this commands up here without hitting the enter key, and then I'm going to explain what each thing is doing. If you use the tutorial, he's going to say, try this, and if you get an error message, try that. Well, I got that error message on several of my Pis, so I just said, we're going to try that. So we do a sudo apt update, just like we do anytime. You can also do apt get, just like we do for everything. And then there is this switch, allow release info change. This is what's going to say, recognize that we're going to be changing from an old distro buster to a new one. You hit the enter key on that. And that one's fairly quick. Should happen in a minute or two. Next command. He combined 2 commands on here. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Yes. Can't do that or it'll automatically launch and we'll be here for 6 weeks. Okay, next command. Sudo apt or apt get -y upgrade. So we did a sudo apt update. Now we're doing a sudo apt upgrade. And when that's done, that one takes an amount of time that will depend on the speed of the system that you're using, which version of Raspberry Pi, and how much stuff you have on it. And then when all the stuff is upgraded, all the apps and all the old operating system, then we're going to say, all right, now I want you to get the new distro. So we're going to do a sudo apt dist upgrade. And then when that's done, we do a full upgrade. In total, this is going to take a while. This could take anything from 15 minutes to half an hour, maybe even a little longer. But that's not even the big one. Okay, so all we've done is 2 commands so far. Now, for these next couple of commands, at some point, you may or may not see a menu. It's going to depend on your configuration. It's a bit different with different machines, but you may see a message that asks you, first of all, if you want, during the process, you may see a screen with a change log, a reference to a change log, and it doesn't matter what it says and what it means. If it gives you this thing and it's just hanging there with a colon, just use the letter Q. Just type Q. You don't have to hit enter, and that'll close it, and the process will continue on. When this last command is done and you wind up back at the prompt, you got to reboot your system. So, oh, dang it, I did that as I always do. Okay. So all you're going to do is, if you're using a command prompt like this one, you'll type in sudo reboot. It'll wait 1 minute and then it'll reboot. And then you're going to reestablish your connection again. And you can do this, of course, instead of with PuTTY or SSH, you can do this over VNC and use the terminal app, or you can use a regular keyboard and a monitor. It doesn't matter how you get to the terminal prompt. The next thing you have to do is a little bit, it's simple, but it does take some activity. We're going to edit a file called sources.list, which is in the apt folder, which is in the etc folder. So we're going to say sudo nano, and this one I'm actually going to do for you and show you what you need to do. This is really simple. I'll enter on that. It opens up a file with 3 lines in it. 2 of them are commented out. 1 of them is a real line. And all you're going to do is go over here where it said in the past, Buster, and change it to bullseye. And if you want to keep yourself sane, make that same change down here on this remmed outline. So if you ever have to do it again, you'll know what you've got everything set to do. Then you're going to save it with Control X. Let's see, I can do that here. I'll put that back. So now I can say Control X. It'll ask, you want to save the changes? Yes, I do. What do you want to call the file that you want to save? The one that I started with, please. Enter. And off we go. Okay, so now we've changed the configuration file that's going to get read when we do our next command. And our next command is the same commands that we did before. He's got them all on a single command line now instead of broken up into a couple. And what happens is it reads that config file and says, okay, now I'm going to do all these updates and upgrades based on bullseye instead of the old Buster. And this is the one that's going to take a while. You could be staring down the road of 45 minutes to an hour and a half for this one. Stick around at the beginning in case you have to answer yes to keep things going. And also poke back every now and again. You may find yourself with one of those blue text menus. And if you encounter it, doesn't matter what it is or what it says. If you have a choice to okay it, hit the enter key on the okay. And then if you have a yes, no, which would be in the following screen. Sometimes if you ignore that okay screen, eventually it says, okay, you're just going to be okay. I'll take you to the next screen, and you'll get a yes, no, and you want to choose yes. And what it's going to ask you is about restarting the Raspberry Pi OS service during the upgrade. Don't care. So wait that guy out. Again, it's going to take a while. And then you do one final sudo reboot. And you're done. When it reboots, you're up and operational. Now you've got a bunch of junk files that are left in there. So one optional step that you can do after the fact is to do sudo apt or apt-get, it's all the same, and then the word auto remove. And that'll get rid of all the junk excess files. Now, when it gets all done, you may get an error message about some missing library dependencies. It's okay. They're allowed to be missing for this upgrade. And that's it. That's how you upgrade. When you get down to it, there are 4 commands that you run, 2 reboots, and 1 minor configuration file change. The big trick on this thing is you got to be patient. When you're done and it's all booted up, you can check and see how done you are. I'll show you when I bring up PuTTY again by reading a little file. Okay, we're done. And it's right on the hour. That's great. I can do this next part in about a half an hour or so. Then we can contest and close things up. So we're going to do part 1 of creating a motion triggered talking clock. And I've done my little production note here, so that's cool. This is the beginning of a 2-part project. The whole project is to create this motion activated clock, and it ties to a lot of CompTIA skills and objectives that are primarily Linux oriented. So editing files, working with scripts, we're going to work with Python scripts, we're going to work with Bash scripts, and of course we've got a lot of other stuff going on that's not directly applicable to A+, but okay. Required hardware for this project. You need a Raspberry Pi. Any model will do. It works great on a Raspberry Pi Zero, in fact, as long as it's, in fact, there is no as long as it's. One of the really cool things about this project is when it's done, it doesn't need any kind of internet connection. It will operate as a standalone system. Of course, it needs a power supply. You need an enclosure. It needs a micro SD card. This is a very small bit of project. There are ways to make an 8 gig card work. I mentioned it once or twice in shows in the past, but it's even getting hard to find 8 gigabyte micro SD cards. So a 16 works just fine for this. You want to do bigger, you can, but it's just a waste. During the installation, you will briefly need a network connection so that you can download 1 program. And if you want to do things, create the project, modify files, things like that with SSH instead of a keyboard and a monitor, then you'll need a network connection, of course, but you don't need it. All programming is done in this project with the command line. And I'll mention this in advance. The hardware that you're going to need for next week's project is a motion sensor, this thing called a PIR, a passive infrared. I didn't even open this package yet. It came in. So it's a really cool looking thing. It's a little tiny circuit board about 1 inch by 1 inch square. And it has this white dome on it that kind of looks like a fly's eye. That's the lens so that you can detect motion all over the place. We'll need a little breadboard. I will show you a source next week where you can pick up a breadboard for $1. You have to buy 5, but awesome. 5 projects for $5. It's worth it. You'll need a couple of jumper wires. That's $2 to $3. And starting today for today's project, you need speakers. You can use any old computer speakers. You can use Bluetooth speakers if the Raspberry Pi you're using is Bluetooth. You can go to a garage sale and get a pair, or a boot sale, because we have some UK people here, for a couple of bucks for a cheap set of computer speakers. I'll also show you where you can buy a single individual speaker for under $1. But if you're going to do that, you're going to need to do a little bit of soldering, and you're going to need a 3.5 millimeter jack so that you can solder your wires into. But cool stuff. My use case. You can modify your use case. Here's what I have in mind. I mentioned this a week or so ago. If I get up at night, go check the noises downstairs, honey, there's a burglar kind of thing. I want to know what time it is when I get up. And so my phone is always by the bedstand, and I have to pick it up, and I have to double bounce it and zip up the screen and put the code, and oh, okay, it's 3:04 in the morning. Ugh. So my thing is, I'm thinking, wouldn't it be cool if I had this little motion sensor so that I could just wave my hand over it as I walk past it on my way out of the room or whatever. And it says, today is Tuesday, November 32nd, and the time is 4:17 a.m. And you can add any other kind of text and words and whatever you like to that. So that's one thing that you can do. Now you can very easily modify the stuff that I'm going to do today so that it doesn't have a short field of detection. You can open this thing up so that it's 15 feet away and detects anything on 90 degrees of either side of it. And when it detects, you can have our audio program say anything you want. Please get out of this room. You are not authorized to be here. I like the idea of playing a recording of chambering his shell. No, I'm kidding. I don't do a recording. I actually chamber the shell. I wanted to hear. All right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use the eSpeak program. It's a speech synthesizer. It's very smart. It knows how to read words. It knows how to read numbers. It has a lot of different syntax and control authority. We did an episode on that back in August. I thought I put that link here in my notes to add to you. And if not, I did it on August 30th. July 30th. So you can download the documents from that from the archive thing. You can go look back through the playlist that all the episodes here are on YouTube. eSpeak is a really, really, really fun project. As I was playing with it and programming this week, I just got wrapped up in it. In fact, for those of you who were here when I first started up today, I played an eSpeak program. I'll do it now. Oh, did it this way. There it is.
Hello everyone. How's it going? Welcome to another Payday Friday drama show.
And you can make it sound a little more human than that, but this is just a fun program to mess around with. I don't know what you just did there. All right. So all right. So we're going to start by installing eSpeak. It's a 40-second install. We're going to review time variables and how to use them. We're going to do a little bit of review on bash scripting, and we're going to put it all together and make a script that, when triggered today manually by manually typing in the command of the name of the script, it'll run. But next week, we'll set it up so that when the motion detector detects something, a program will be watching for that to happen. And when it sees the detection, it will call our bash script and run it. So very cool, very simple thing. All right, so let me show you. Let's just start the project here. I got a PuTTY connection to my server, to my Raspberry Pi. It's not a server. And I'm going to share that with you because I like you. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is a command that you can run from the command line called date. Sorry. I get these two files open at once and bad things happen. Oh, actually, one of the first things I wanted to show you is what it looks like after you upgrade to Bullseye. So we use the cat command, which means show me the contents of a file, and then the file is in Etsy and it's called os-release. And here it is, the pretty name, Raspbian Linux 11 Bullseye. Version 11 Bullseye down here, code name is Bullseye, you get the idea. All right, so I want to talk about the date command. The date command has all kinds of flags and parameters available to it, which we're going to need. Remember, the goal here is to take the output of the date command and to feed it into the eSpeak program. So I could do that with this. I could say date and take all this junk and send it to eSpeak. But here's what eSpeak would say. It would say fry 12 nov 15 :09 :14. CST 2021. That's kind of useless, at least in my humble use case anyways. Sorry, my notes scrolled. Give me a second to catch up back up where I need to be. Buddy connection demonstrate. Okay, so there's date. So that's what it is without variables. Now, if we want to check out what kind of variables are available to us, we can say date space minus minus help. And there's a lot of stuff going on here. These are the critical ones that we care about, these percent values. Now, before you start cruising this, what you want to do is put something in your mind that says, here's what I want my system to say to me. So I thought about it in my mind, and what I wanted to say is 2 sentences. One, today is Monday, January 7th. So I need some text, today is, and then I need a date variable that gives me the word Monday, and a date variable that gives me the word that of the month that it is, and likewise a variable that gives me the day of the month in numbers. So, okay, we're going to look through those. We'll see what we can find here. I got my friend. Well, let's try. Let's just take a look at what some of them do. Where's this guy? We got a percent capital Y that offers up the year, and we have a percent lowercase y that gives a two decimal value of the year from between 00 and 99. So let's take a look at those and give them a try. Date, and this is going to fail. I'm going to fail on purpose because I'm going to show you something. Percent y, and it says, what are you talking about? When you do date on the command line, you have to precede your first variable with a plus. So I did date plus percent lowercase y, I got a 2-digit value. If I do date plus uppercase y, then I get a 4-digit value. All right, that's, I don't want it to say that to me. I don't want it to say it's Tuesday, January 9th, 2021. That's a little on the overkill side for me, but I just want to show you how to use the plus programming method. So as I said, to look at all the variables, clear, we'll do date minus minus help. And these are the variables that I want to mess around with. Here's my friend A, abbreviated days of the week in words, sun, mon, Tuesday. That's percent lowercase a. The fully spelled day of the week is percent uppercase a. Okay, today is Sunday. I like that one. And I wanted to say, this is November. I want to say November. I don't want it to say Nov, so I won't use percent lowercase b. I'll use percent uppercase b. And I want the day of the month. JKI. Oh, that's over there. Where's our month? Day of month right here. Percent D, lowercase. Okay, so those are the 3 variables I want. Percent cap A, percent cap B, and percent small d. Now I could do each of these individually as individual lines. Ugh, let's do it because it's quick and easy. Clear. Date plus percent A, cap A. That's a $sign. There we go. Friday, November, lowercase d, 12. But of course, I want to put them all together on the same line. So let me give you, I'm just going to type it in here. Date plus. Now, when we're going to include multiple variables and or text, we have to put everything in quotes. So, okay, I want to, let's make this thing look pretty so we can understand it in textual format. We're going to say year, colon, that's just text, percent A, comma, month, colon, is just text. You can put any word in there that made you happy. Percent B, capital B. And let's take a comma after that. day colon percent lowercase d. All right, those are all in quotes. And this is going to output to the screen. And that's why I did the year, the colon, and the comma, so that it looks pretty on my screen. Bam. Year colon, Friday, comma, month, November, comma, day 12. Now that would be terrible if I sent that to eSpeak, because it would say year colon, Friday, comma, month, colon, November, comma. You get the idea. That's no good. This is great for textually. If I want to do a bash script that's got this information when I log in, that's useful. And that's the way I want to see it on my screen, or something similar to that. But I got to get rid of some of this stuff when I go to send it straight to eSpeak. So for that, I could do something like this. I can say date plus, put just variables in quotes, and I left the commas here just to see what would happen on the screen output. And sure enough, it included the commas. So again, I don't want that because eSpeak will pronounce the word comma. So let's do it one more time as if we were prepping it for eSpeak and not for the screen. So here's my date plus, here's my quotation marks, and then just my three variables separated by spaces, percent cap A, percent cap B, percent D, enter. And that's lovely. I can send that straight out to eSpeak. Love that. And I also love the fact that it's got the date right. So that's going to take care of, excuse me, my throat got dry. That takes care of my first sentence that I'm going to want it to say to me. I wave my hand in front of it, and we'll add the text later. Today is Friday, November 12th. In fact, we could even do that right now like this. If I pass that to eSpeak, it's going to say today is Friday, November 12th. It won't say 12th. There's probably a supported feature that can go in there. So let's try it. Let's see if it sounds, and that looks good. Well, I'm not going to try it yet. I got something else to do. All right, now I got the date. Now we want to set up the time. So we need some more variables. Again, put a thought process in your mind. What do you want it to say? I want it to say the time is 3:47 a.m. or 7:25 p.m. So I'm going to have to go look at my variables again and see how I can pull that stuff off. Date minus help. The time is, so first of all, I need the hour. And hours are available in two formats from here, 12-hour format and 24-hour format. So let's go see HI. So here's capital H, percent capital H. That gives me two digits from 00 through 23. That's 24-hour format. I like 24-hour format, but my missus doesn't. So I'll use capital I, and that'll give me 2-digit in 12-hour format. That gives me the hour. What about the minutes? Well, lowercase m gives me a numeric month. Uppercase M gives me the minutes in 2-digit value. Okay, so I can get a 2-digit time here. It is presently 15 and 2-digit minutes here, 19 my time. Now, I'm sorry, it's not 15, it's 3 whatever time it is, 3:19 my time. So I don't know if I got blindfold on or if my room is pitch black, if that's morning or night. So I need to find out if it's AM or PM. And we look through these variables and we find my locale's equivalent of either AM or PM, blank if not known. And this will show it uppercase or lowercase, depending if I use lowercase p or uppercase. eSpeak doesn't care if you give it letters in uppercase or lowercase by default. You can manage those defaults. So I will use lowercase p. So let's just try some basic variables here. Date plus, let's see, we're gonna use capital I, %I, to find out the hour right now. That's a capital I. Okay, so the hour is 03, and then a capital M for minutes. It's 3:20 now. And is it AM or PM? I'll use a lowercase p here. And it's PM. If I use an uppercase, I expected it to show capital PM. Okay, doesn't matter in this instance. So again, we need to get these together on a single line. And I want to include something a little more informational. And we already know we don't want to include colons or commas or things like that, because when we pass it to eSpeak, we don't want it to say colon or comma. So we're going to do date plus, and we have multiple things in between quotes. The time is, and then those three variables listed in order: %I, capital, %cap M, %P in upper or lowercase in this instance. And it generates, the time is 03:21 PM. Cool. I like the way that text reads. That's exactly the way I would like that sent to my eSpeak program. So cool bananas. We got two good statements that we can use to generate a date and a time verbiage, right? So now what we're going to do is get eSpeak installed. I already have it installed, but let me show you how to do it. It's really quick. It's really simple. All you have to do is say sudo apt install eSpeak. And it's going to say, it's already installed here. It's got the latest version in it. So what are you doing, goofball? He's checked online for versions. He's checking for here. He's saying, what? After this operation, okay, I'll do more. 119 upgraded, 91 newly installed, 137. No, I do not want to do this because this is going to do another upgrade that it's throwing at me, and I don't know what the heck is going on there. So no. eSpeak is already working. It's already installed. And that probably has something to do with the bullseye update that I did on this one. Okay. So eSpeak is a valid command in there. So let's just run the basic syntax of eSpeak and see how things go. The general syntax is eSpeak, followed by some text between quotes. So we're going to say, hello, everyone. And I've got this set up so that it will.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, man. So it works, but it was a little fast. Hello, everyone. Just a little too quick for me. And let's see why that is. We'll run our friend eSpeak -- help. And you can see it has a lot of control variables to it as well. Here's the one that's getting us right now. The -s variable is the speed spoken in words per minute, with a bottom rate of 80 words per minute and a top rate of 450 words per minute. And it's currently speaking at 175 words per minute, which is okay, but it's a little quick, right? So let's try the same command, but we'll slow it down a little bit. -s space, how about 125 words a minute?
Hello, everyone.
That's a little better. How about we make it insanely slow? The slowest possible value.
Hello, everyone.
That sounds like Joshua. I might use that in a Joshua simulation sometime. I'm not going to show you what 450 words per minute sounds. So experiment with your speech speed rates. And we're not going to go through this in this class, but recognize that there is a ton of other cool variables that you can do here. You can change the volume, the amplitude of it. You can change the gapping between words, how to deal with integers and numbers, and lots more. You can pick different voices. You can pick different languages. We did all that stuff in the August 30th show. So you can check that out there if you like. All right, so let's make it a little more geared toward what we want to do. We want to say eSpeak. We'll set a speed, minus S 125, some text in quotes. Again, case sensitivity doesn't matter when you use the defaults. There is some handling that says, if I encounter a capital, should I put emphasis on the word or not, or whatever, but we're ignoring that right now. How about something simple? The time is.
The time is.
Okay. Now I need to do is get some time after that, right? So let's pick a variable. Let's mess around with the day. And here's a way that we can do this. We're going to use that date command again. Date plus, put some stuff in quotes here. The day is percent capital A. Percent capital A. Now, of course, if I hit the enter key on this, it turns up on screen. The day is Friday. What I want to do is make that get spoken. So I'm going to intercept it from the screen and redirect it with that little vertical symbol that has some use in Windows, but nobody knows what it is anymore. It's called the pipe command. It means redirect, take its normal output and send it to a program like eSpeak. This is going to suck, but we'll fix it.
The day is Friday.
Okay, so oops, I forgot something. I forgot to change the speech speed. So it did it at 175 words a minute. So let's give eSpeak a little slowdown.
The day is Friday.
Not bad. You know, I'm thinking I might even like that a little slower.
The day is Friday.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there. So this is the key to our function. We're going to use the date command with all those variables that we did earlier, the day and the date and the time and the hour and so forth. And we're going to pipe the results. We're going to redirect the results to the eSpeak program. So all we need to do now is take those lines that we created earlier and script them up. So let's do some of that. Oh, here, let's try this one now. Let's get a complete sentence with all the little factoids that I want in it. So how about the day is, let's mess around with the date. The date is Friday. What's the month? B. And the year or the day of the month is lowercase d, percent lower d. And send that out our eSpeaker. I'll make it slow. The date should be Friday, November 12th. Let's see.
The date is Friday, November 12th.
I think that's too slow. I'll go back to 125. So there's the first sentence that I want in my script. And then a second sentence, I'm going to want the time is. And whatever the time is, I'm just going to copy paste that instead of you watch me type it in and make all the mistakes that I usually make. So we'll use our date command again. The time is hour, minute, AM, PM. Send that out to eSpeak.
The time is 03:28 PM.
Nice. Those are the two commands that I want in my bash script. So all I got to do is make a bash script. So we've installed eSpeak, sudo apt install eSpeak. It's very quick. And now I have what I'm about to do. I have documented in a text file that's in the downloadable archive documents. So you can type this in, you can follow along in my notes, you can follow along on the show, or you can just copy paste it out of the little text file. It's called it's called time.sh.txt. You're going to want to get rid of the If you get rid of the .txt extension, you can just copy that file straight into your Raspberry Pi and use it as is. So let me see, what's the best way to do this? All right, I'll do it this way. We're going to nano it. We don't have to sudo nano it. Nano time.sh. It's an sh file because it's going to be a bash script. And you can see I've already typed everything in, but all you have to do is put 3 lines in. First of all, this is the shebang that's going to tell our system that this is a bash program. Pound exclamation, that's shebang. And then this is the interpreter that's used to interpret it. Next line, when you're in a bash script, you can't just say date. You have to, excuse me, say echo to make the contents go to the screen. So we're going to echo, and then echo is followed by text without quotes. So echo date is, current date is, and then we're going to use a command that has to go between single quotes, date. There's our plus stuff, and there's our quoted material and the stuff that's going to go in there. I got a comma in there. I don't want that comma. That's a mistake. Pull that out when you edit this, when you use this in your real thing. Sorry about that. There we go. Save that. And then pipe the results to eSpeak at 125 words per minute. Do another line to deal with the time. The time is, all this stuff is in single quotes. These variables are in double quotes. These dashes don't matter. I did one with dashes and one without, and just as an experiment to do some experimenting. Okay, when you get all done with it, save it. I'm going to make it look like it's a new file, so I'll Control X. Save it. Yes. What do you want to call it? Time.sh, just like I started it. All right, that's done. Now, it won't work because it has one other problem. This is a script, and a script has to be executable, executable. So what you have to do is one very simple little command, and it needs the sudo command. We're going to sudo chmod, change the mode to +X, add the executable permission to time.sh. Bam, done. I got no error messages. So now if we do an ls-l and we look at time, there's time. You can see it's rwx xrx. Anybody can execute this thing. The owner, anybody who's in the same group as the owner, and everyone. Now, if you go back and make a change here, let's say that I decided 125 words a minute doesn't make me happy. I want to do something else. I would say nano, no, time.sh. We go back in here, we make a change. I want it to be 126 on that one. Yeah. Save the change, Control X, yes, enter. I don't have to change the permissions. They were already set once. They're still set, ls-l. So once you've done that, there's time, executable, 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 all is good. So you can make changes to your file after you've made it executable and not have to redo it, remake it executable. All right, so now the test. Now all we got to do is run that script and see how it goes. .whack means run this program, and the program is test.sh, and Linux is going to look at the shebang and say, okay, we're going to use bash to interpret that. Oh, it's not test, it's time.
Current date is Friday, November 12. The time is 03:34 p.m.
Huzzah! That's the script that we need to get tripped when our motion sensor detects motion. And that's what we're going to do next week. So that finishes what we need to accomplish today. So remember, you can adjust your speed pacing with that -S space and then some number between 80 and 450. You can change the pitch of the voice. It's got a range of 0 to 99. The default is 50. And there's lots of other variables that you can read and mess around with by doing eSpeak -- help. Okay, checking my notes. That's this week's. Yeah, that's it. All right, so good time to finish. It's 35. We'll do a contest for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to get questions. I got 1 or 2 really cool things to share with you post-show or post-project, and then we'll wind things up in plenty of time. Loving that stuff. Let me close this app. Exit. I'm sorry, just looking at notes and picking a path here. All right, I'm not going to look at questions yet. I'm going to take us straight into the contest because I want to do a contest. We're going to do a contest. And this contest is for a CompTIA test voucher for any test offered by CompTIA except cybersecurity analysts. That's just their rule, whatever their rationale is behind it. Dear winner, you are going to send me an email with some information that, Andrew, would you put the winner information up now on what they need to send me, or Scott, since you're both there now? So if you win, go back to the current time mark. It's about an hour and 36 minutes into the show. And I'm even going to put my slide up there and cover what I need to cover. I got one person who is behind, who has not sent me a link, and I'm sending stuff out when I get to the hotel tonight. So if you win today, right after the show, send me an email with the following information. You can pause this screen, you can come back and relook at this screen, whatever the case may be. So you're going to send an email to myself, daver@totalsem.com. Don't send it to my personal email. Identify yourself with the YouTube name that you used in today's contest, and I need your real name that you're going to use to register for the CompTIA exam. I need your real email address in the body of the mail that you're going to send me. I can't use the one that's in the header. Okay, what email address are you using to register with CompTIA? Put that in the body. And then which exam do you want to take? Don't say A+, don't say Security Plus. They may have different versions of them. I want to see 220-1001 or SY0-601 or whatever. Tell me the country where you intend to take your exam. And if that country is the US, CompTIA says you must also give them your state. That's what you need to send me. Your YouTube name, your real email address that you're registering with, the exam number, your country, and if the country is US, your state. Simple stuff. And Andrew or Scott has probably posted that. If not, I will post it again when we're done with El Contesto. Ooh, I speak Spanish. You didn't know. Okay, so did that. Today's contest rules. Because we're trying to spread the wealth and give lots of people an opportunity to win a voucher, no previous winners of vouchers can win another voucher today. We make this as fair as possible, but because of the way the internet works and the way YouTube works, you may get an answer in a different order than I see them in. It's the order that I see them that determines the winner. So there's the inherent unfairness. Things may turn up out of order, but I do try to keep it fair. By using a random number generator, you're going to guess a random number. I'm human. I make mistakes, seldom, of course. Okay, 336 contest winner information to send was posted by Andrew. Thank you. Back channel people. So I'm human. I make mistakes, seldom, of course. But once I announce the winner, if I'm right, if I'm wrong, that's the winner. No do-overs, no appeals. Disclaimer, we're operating in good faith. We're doing everything that we understand to be correct in these giveaways. We guarantee nothing. Once I hand this information off to CompTIA, it's out of my hands. Now, my understanding is that they have delivered on every single voucher up through the end of last week. I'm collecting the information from this week, from Mike's 2 shows and this show, and I will send it shortly. Horrible back channel, absolutely horrible. All right, so things are working just fine. So I'm using a pseudo random number generator to generate a random number between 400 and 800. I got 2 different sets of numbers, but when I used the number generator, I went 4 and 8. So when you read the document, one of them is going to say a different range, but you got it. And man, I got 2 sets of instructions there, and they are contrary. So I'm using the second set. Your job is to pick a number between 400 and 800 inclusive. The winner is the first person who is closest to the number that was selected by the pseudo random number generator program that I used. It was an online one. Decimal only. I don't need you to convert to binary. And again, this one, closest number 2. It doesn't matter if it's over or under or an exact, like one person totally nailed last week. That's impossible. So if you're not submitting, go ahead and start submitting now. A number between 400 and 800 inclusive. The person with the number closest to the number that my thing generated will be the winner of today's vouchers. Scott, I'm going to put the selected number on the back channel. You guys can help me look for closest. All right, read along here. Jason, it's not a port, goober. Trash 80, on the other hand, I totally accept. Man, you seeing what I'm seeing, Scott? I absolutely made sure that I did not post the number in the download documents. Couple more moments. Got somebody here who's pretty darn close. Scott. Yeah, all you got to do is type in 400 numbers or so, 402. That's what I'm seeing, Scott. I love this. We believe we have a winner, and if it's who we think it is, obviously it's a new winner, but it's you're not a new face. You've been here. I'm pretty sure you've been here before, but if not, we'll see what happens. Unless that's somebody who said, you know what, I won one before, I'm coming in under a different name, but we'd be able to figure that out. Okay, let's see. We got enough entries. Man, we had a lot of entries in here. Good. Thank you all. Love all that stuff. Father Time, you only get one guess. David Gomez, you only get one guess. Let's stop it. All right, we have a winner. I'm very pleased to say, let me, before I announce it, I got to copy it and put it into my appropriate notes. Where'd you go? There it is. Thanks, Scott. Okay, stand by. I got to put some information in a file that I don't lose. Today was 11/12. This was the random number. The winner is this person, and their guess was this number. Save that. Okay, the winner today is at time mark 340 in my system, BM with the number 411. My number was 410. BM, you only missed it by 1. And Gomez, after your 30th attempt, you managed to get it right, but you didn't get it first, and it was more than one answer. So congratulations, BM. You won it. Go take a look at the notice that Andrew posted at 3:36. Send me the email with that specific information. Do it today, please. And I will have that to CompTIA when they get into the office first thing on Monday morning. So awesome and outstanding. Congratulations. I changed my vote. All right, save that, shrink that. That's cool. Well done, guys. One off out of a range of 400. I was shocked when that number came up. I said, oh man, that's such a low number. Everybody's going to be banging on in the 500s and the 600s, and I'm going to have to calculate and subtract. But let me give you a heads up about next week's contest. You're going to like it. I'm going to give you the answer in advance. It's going to be in my downloadable archive, which will be available sometime before the show starts. You'll be able to download it during the show, of course, because we do the contest toward the end of the show. So here's the deal. I'm going to create a file and include it in my download archive documents. At least this is the plan, unless somebody on the back channel of the company says, nope, there's a fatal flaw with that. The file will have a numbered list of words, numbers, and phrases. So you're going to download that and have that file open and ready to go. And then what I'm going to do is say, what is the word, number, or phrase on line number 714, whatever it is. So all you got to do is go down there and you can read it and type it in. You can copy, paste it. Can't be close because you got information that exact. You got to type it in exactly. I don't care about case. I don't care about commas, but all the words have to be there and in order. And so the first one that I see who types in the correct answer from my list, and we can use that every week because I'm making a long list. And all I got to do next week then is now we'll do line 114 and line 77 and whatever. So that's the way next one's going to work. So, all right, I got two things I wanted to show you ever so quickly, and then we'll finish it up with answering questions for the last 10 or 15 minutes. A couple of websites that I found a week ago that had I had time, I would have shared with you then. I didn't, so I'm going to do it now. My traveling partner and Mrs. for the last 35 years has arrived, so we can do last minute packing together and get the heck out of here. Yeah. Okay, things to show you. This link, it's not a link, it's a web page. I posted one of these little factoids on Discord. It was really cool. This is just one of those little trivia things. 10 facts that you didn't know or might not know about Linux. And I'm just going to show you one or two of them. You can see the link on the top of my page when I share it here. And enjoy these. There's some really interesting stuff here, enough that some will give me a chuckle and some things. So let's grab one or two. Linux was born into, how about Tux, right? Everybody knows Linux always has a little penguin associated with it. His original name was the Penguin. And somebody came up with this, let's have a contest and give that thing a real name. And it was going to be the Penguin. And then somebody said, wait a minute, Linus Torvalds creates Linux, T and UX. And it was serendipity. They became Tux. So Tux is the name of that. And I'm not going to read you the rest of these. Enjoy them. Just take a look at the link that I have up here. It's linuxiac.com. 10 interesting and fun facts about Linux separated by spaces. And I think I can take you over here to the other one without doing anything. So you guys all know about Blender. And if you don't, Blender is an online program. It's a web app for creating 3D things, movies, let's call them, animated things. And every now and again, the Blender community gets together and they make a movie. And there's, I don't know, 10 movies out there. We did, when we were playing with our Plex server, we showed Big Buck Bunny. It's kind of a nice little animated thing. Well, they made one and released it for Halloween. It's called Sprite Fright. It's 10.5 minutes. It's a nice movie. It's a little horrible movie. But what's really awesome about it is not the fact that it's Blender. Blender's open source. Cool. Everything they did in it, the Foley operations, the backgrounds, was done 100% with open source software. That's incredible. When you look at the credits at the end, you're going to see the usual main name credits, directed and written by, and then you're going to see the list of all of the community contributors. And there's over 1,000 names in that contribution list who have created this 10-minute movie. There's a link in here that will take you to the actual movie, or you can do this. It's a fun little movie to watch, but wow, what a knockout. So again, here's the link to the article and the cool background on it, and enjoy the movie. If you just see it, just look up Sprite Fright. It's on YouTube and you'll find it there. And it's an interesting little thing, but be impressed, be amazed at what was done, what can be done. It's as good as any professional Pixar movie. In fact, it looks a lot like a Pixar movie. All right, that's everything in my notes. Let's go catch up on last minute questions until the end. I'm going to pick it up after the contest numbers. So if you posted something before then that needs to be addressed, post it again, please. How much time do I have? I got 10 minutes worth of show. That's awesome. That's enough to do everything. Teacher wants to know if Patricia Grace is in CA. Nope. But she is in a lovely palm tree oriented state. Goodness gracious. Okay, so BM1, BM, Shark Tank, they posted a bunch of numbers, but I guess it was, yeah, the first one is the only one that matters. And I'll mention that in the rules that you can only write down one number. Reading questions here, and your pronoun was better than Shark. Somebody out-pronouned Scott. You just got hired as an editor. I didn't say that. No, you didn't. Andrea DeGuert's here. Drive safe day. Thank you. I will enjoy time with the kid. We're gonna have a great time. We'll catch some football. We're going hiking in some canyon. We're going to a World War II glider museum, and we're going to the store. He wants supplies. Oh, wow. Heck, there wasn't much going on here. Everybody's kind of winding up. That's cool. Yeah, Blender makes smoothies. Andre, you are so tullowitting right now. I'm afraid you guys are getting too close. Goodness gracious. Chat floating. I was nowhere near this time. Blenders are for making margs. Darn right. Got trouble connecting with my Pi Zero using USB. Okay, I'll help you with that. But again, I can't help today. Sorry. Or anytime this weekend. I'm going to work very hard at disconnecting myself from technology. I can't 100%. I got a phone and I'll see stuff, but you get the idea. Oh, rats. My phone has Discord on it. So I will see you on Discord and see any messages you post to or from me. All right. If you got any other questions, now is the time to ask them. I'm going to hold this thing up for about one more minute or so and see if questions come up, and then we're going to close the gates. I will be working late nights all week next week. I've got my research on doing the sorry, reading messages, on doing our motion sensor. I know the electronics. I do not know the Python programming well, so I'm going to be learning that. I've taken a Python course. Some of you guys have joined me on that. Some of you have taken some more courses. I've got enough foundations and fundamentals that I can do what we've got to do, but it is going to take a bit of additional learning curve. Oh gosh, I want to tell you about this. I got time to tell you a Python programming story. So I had to create a spreadsheet the other day. No big trick to it. I did wind up learning some new things about spreadsheets because there was some things that I made a very basic third grade level spreadsheet. And then our brilliant guru, Michael Smyer in-house, said, man, that sucks. That looks like a third grader. Let me do magic to it. And so he did wonderful magic things to it. And I studied them and I learned what he did. And okay, yeah, I can see what you did there. But then there was this one problem. This is a spreadsheet to track voucher winners. So what I wanted was columns, or a column that had the Monday, Wednesday, Friday dates from now to the end of the year, or to the end of next year, actually. And it seems there is just no way to do that natively within Excel. Michael and I both attacked that as a project. I went and researched Excel techniques and tools, and he went and did something else. And while I'm still fumbling and foundering, he said, I got it. It's populated. And I said, how did you do that? It's brilliant. It was fully populated. I random checked some dates. They were perfect. And he said, I did it with Python. And I said, that's awesome. You can integrate Python into Excel, or it's part of Excel. And he said, no. He said, I used a Python program and it generated screen output with those dates. And then I just copied them and pasted them in. And then I went and looked at the Python code that he used, and he borrowed somebody else's template and then modified it to work. And it was blindingly complicated at my level. It used a command, a keyword they're called in Python, that I never heard of, called yield. And I went and tried to research yield. I was able to find lots of information about it, not a word of which I understood, but it's an awesome little thing you can use it to populate any kind of days of the week repeating cycle. And it was just cooler than all get out. But I was really excited about the possibility that Python could be natively incorporated into Excel, but I couldn't have been more wrong. All right, let's see what popped up here while I yammered there. Let's see, 2:52, Andre, we're closer, 11 hours apart, was 12. Okay, great. I'll be online again tomorrow when I'm on the train to school, 8 hours. Oh my, that'll be in 8 hours. Okay, yep, bedtime for you. Thanks for coming, Andre, and everybody else. Daluit, you want to talk to the future again? I don't know what you guys are up to, but you guys do talk a lot, and good for you. Want to see that code? Yeah, check with Michael. I don't remember where we did it. Could have done it with a Visual Basic script. Okay. I don't do VB. I did the original Basic back a million years ago. All right, well, let's wind this thing up then. This has been a successful show. I got through everything that I wanted to in a timely manner. I believe that I will be able to accomplish the same thing at next week's show. Don't know if I'm coming back Sunday or Monday yet. Again, long drive and lots of stuff to do and so forth. Well, where's that thing on time marks on it? Let me find something here. Where did my outline go? There it is. And that's the right place, kind of, sort of. It's not a very good place for that. Oh, I see what I got to do here. We got to change this and move that and drink this and smack that. And that now has everything that I need. Upcoming projects. I guess I got a minute I got a minute to kill here. I can do this. We're going to do part 2 of eSpeak. I'm going to do a 3-part. My plan is to do a 3-parter. I'm rethinking that. It's too much electronics. It's too much stuff that's not available to everybody. So I think I'm going to abandon that one. I am going to do a presentation between now and Christmas on a program called Magic, M-A-G-I-C-K. Look it up, install it if you like. And I may do it on Rocky Linux and or Raspberry Pi OS. I don't know what the rest of the year schedule looks like. We've got it holidays coming up here. We got in the US, end of November on Thursday, we have a holiday for Thanksgiving. Of course, we got Christmas. That's on a Saturday. We'll see if we're going to do one on Friday. New Year's Eve is on a Saturday, or New Year's Day is on a Saturday. We'll see if we're going to do a New Year's Eve show. I don't know. I got to talk to Mike and see what he wants to do. And of course, hopefully I will hear back from the nice folks at Nessus and play with their Nessus 10. Mike's got a regular show coming up this Monday. He didn't announce any particular features. So, and probably, maybe, I don't know, Scott will join him. Many thanks, as always, to Mike, to Scott, to Andrew, to Total Seminars, and to all of you for coming here, joining us and participating. I'm having a great time with you. This has been Dave Rush. I'm the senior instructor at Total Seminars, resident Pi specialist. I'm wishing you a great weekend. Take care of each other. Take serious steps to stay healthy. Call or visit your parents and the rest of your family. And never forget, technology is great, but the greatest resource we have are you and I. And so good night. I won't see you on Discord this week, but I'll catch you here and there. I will be at the AMAs next week. And until then, I am out of here. This presentation was recorded before a live studio audience and is a production of Total Seminars. Okay, out.